Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Just acknowledge it, knowledge with no scholarships. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. Breaking everything down, tech to politics. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. We don't tell you what you want, we just give you what you need. It's Topic Thunder, it's Topic Thunder. News, grooves, and views from these Chi-Town streets. Topic Thunder.
What?
Hello. Was that new? The split, like the was that?
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to
Oh,
Topic Thunder.
I don't know what happened there. It seemed like it was skipping a little bit, but I don't know if it was skipping on everyone else's end or just my end or whatever. But here we are. I think we're on the air. I think so. Chompy Mage, he's in the chat room.
For the time being, we are Topic Thunder. It is my dad's favorite podcast.
We'll see what happens.
Only podcast, but what we welcome in to the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call it the Thunderdome.
They are piling in already.
And then we already have a couple of very important people in the chat zone. And my name is Brooks. That is Ben. And if you're listening, you're watching on Twitch, you're listening, watching Spotify or YouTube, Facebook, whatever it is, whatever the medium is that's delivering this product to you, hit that like button. Subscribe. I guess that helps.
Share.
Really not much of a
invite them in
barker, right? But I don't know if you like it. Let people know you like it. Maybe
the water's warm. Invite other people in.
Ben and I can retire to a Caribbean.
A new face
island.
in the crowd, Brooks. Couple of new faces. Hold on, Bernard Coffee. I don't know if that's
Bernie?
a luminary.
Look,
a luminary
Bernie,
from your world.
Okay. So all right, so that's my good friend Bernie. Bernie, what is up, dude? I hope all is well with you, folks. Bernie is a seriously good human being, good soul, good man.
Excellent, welcome.
And my interaction with him was when I was way back. I'm talking now 10 years plus. When I was in X-ray school and DJing at a local bar called Durbin's. Bernie was the head security dude.
Gotcha.
And I was the DJ. If you're unfamiliar with the relationship between bar club employees, that is a sacred one, and you can control the crowd there if you have a solid relationship with your head, not only bartender but security guy. As a DJ, I appreciated Bernie. He always had my back, and we had fantastic conversation. He was a good dude. And took care of his people.
Well, welcome, Bernie.
Hey,
yes,
welcome in, Bernie. Who
and then we also have a new Twitch, and I love the Twitch accounts because we never really know who's behind them, right? We have the Australian guy who pops up only during the lightning round, almost never comments other than to vote in the lightning round. But now we have joining us Everlasting Wop Stopper, which is. Gigi points out maybe the best name in the chat room yet. So shout out to whoever you are. If you want to identify yourself, let us know who you are or remain in anonymity. We prefer that. I think we prefer you remain in anonymity. That was hard for me to say.
That too.
Yes, that's a hard word. Anonymity. It's like cinnamon.
So mine is ambulance. I have to be very careful how
it's Ben Shapiro. Oh, there you go. Oh wait,
it is Ben Shapiro.
And surprise! Like Beetlejuice, if you say his name 3 times, there he is.
The Australian guy is like that superhero that only arrives when you really need.
Right. He just know he's there. You just know he's always there, watching and listening.
It's uncanny. So everybody, welcome in to the program. Episode 156, I think, but nobody's counting.
I thought it was going to say. I thought it was 159. I thought 158.
I don't know anymore.
We're somewhere almost 160.
Will hit us up with one of those weird flags they get us in the chat corporate email.
The archives, strongly worded emails that we get.
So welcome to the program. We discuss things that the entire purpose of this endeavor, this experiment, is the conversation, is to spark honest conversation. And we do kind of moderate. We don't want anybody flying off the handles, and we don't want anybody getting crazy and insulting people, but we want you to express your opinion. This is a safe space, and there might be disagreements, there might be agreements, but the idea is here that everybody is respectful and everybody maintains a sense of, dare I say, decorum. That said, Ben, let's have a drink.
Yes.
You can't have decorum, you can't have a good conversation without a little libation. Listen to this. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
That is a brewski, as they say. And I know we've had this on the show before because this was part of the Summer of Pilsner, if you recall.
Not the Summer of Punk, the Summer of Pilsner.
No, that
very different things. They are very
different things, and one is more delicious than the other.
Yes, one is way more fun than the other. Yes.
This is Pipeworks, which is a fan favorite here, a show favorite, because they have the Unicorn versus Ninja.
Aha. Okay. Yes. That will live in infamy as the greatest can ever.
Which they just have
they like unicorns,
wild horse and wild unicorns. Just why not?
Somebody needs to use it as a mascot, right? Might as well be that.
I was just singing it obnoxiously to Gigi outside the studio before the show, just to warm up the vocals. There's a song by Glory Hammer called "The Unicorn Invasion of Dundee." And,
okay.
It's Glory Hammer is like imagine if your favorite 16-bit or 18-bit video game,
like Contra, right? They're very Castlevania inspired.
A boss music composer got with a Iron Maiden cover band that had their own song ideas, but
I do know what you're talking about, Ryan.
Also constructed a fake universe full of narratives and characters and creatures, and that's Glory Hammer.
That's pretty dope. That's actually, it's outside the box. I appreciate that.
There's a whole, and of course, I did not discover this. I'm tagging along Lockport Joe, who is the discoverer of all things cool.
Basically, yes, exactly. He is my portal to anything that's important. Goose, Grateful Dead, all of it. Like if it's music or even fighting or wrestling, he's always the one that's tipping me off to something that I didn't know about that I needed to know about.
If Lockport Joe tells you, check this out, and you don't.
Yes, he sent me. I haven't got a chance. He sent me a YouTube video. I think it was last night. I just haven't had a chance yet I got one of those texts yesterday from Lockport Joe that said, "Hey, you got to watch this." So I guarantee you, I will set aside time to watch it. Yep.
You're a fool if you don't listen to something that Lockport Joe is sending.
He is a wise man, that Lockport Joe.
Beyond his years, amazingly. So, with all that said, this is a delightful Pilsner. It tastes like summer. It's something that, if you remember cutting the lawn as a youth or as an adult, if this is one of those beers that rides along with you while you're doing all that summer yard work. So cheers to everybody. But let's get into the thick of it. Why don't we, folks?
Yeah. We got some stuff. We were very American centric last week, and now we skipped over a lot of international stuff last week, and I think we're kind of getting back to that a little bit this week by what I saw in the prep,
and for good reason. I'm not look.
No, yes, absolutely. We're not. It's not because we're trying to force anything. Right.
Not the point of the show. The point of the show is to bring to you what the research team's weird minds wander into. And we would be absolutely remiss if we did not acknowledge that this is the 80th anniversary of the invasion of Normandy. We call it D-Day. And it was one of the most brutal yet successful strategically invasions of land that, first of all, I'm not going to say of all time, because it's not something I've studied extensively, but it's certainly the most famous,
Right.
and probably the last serious land invasion we might experience in war.
Yeah, we're well past having to do something like this
At
ever
least with
again.
human beings in this regard.
Correct. Right. We might be drones doing it, but it won't be humans
Ben,
parachuting in on the
You
beach.
just kind of hit on something we're going to talk about a little bit later, on just how much
It's like I know what's
warfare
coming.
has changed in just our lifespans, and we're going to reference this from the invasion of Normandy, France. The Normandy coast looks like Hollywood movie set this time of year, or maybe it's a time warp. Did a 1940s truck full of American GIs just barrel past? Yes, it did. And this is from our friends at NPR. Welcome to Normandy on D-Day anniversary, where thousands of people across Europe and beyond descend upon a string of tiny seaside towns to commemorate the 1944 Allied landing, and for some, to live out their passion for World War II history. Frenchman Jacques Patrice is here with his wife Dorothée and some friends. They're dressed as U.S. soldiers, Women's Army Corps members, and a nurse. They quote, "Every year we come dressed up. It's very poignant for us to dress like American soldiers who liberated us."
Wow.
This is not somebody dressing
That's correct.
as a Pokemon character or Sailor Moon.
Right. This or
Right.
a furry. Yeah.
The story goes on.
It's not, but it's very similar. Don't get me wrong. But it's for different
Vastly
reasons.
The story goes on.
Yeah.
The group traveled from Picardy region of France, some 300 miles away. They towed their 1940s Jeep on a trailer. "It's marvelous," they said. "We follow the same path of the GIs, and it's really moving," Jacques Patrice says. The small roads are clogged with thousands of such World War II era vehicles, ferrying enthusiastic passengers driving down narrow lanes of pathways of history. President Biden and leaders of France, Germany, Canada, and the King of England will join these three reenactors for the official ceremonies Thursday to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, which began June 6, 1944, to liberate the continent from the Nazis. The continent in reference is Europe, which meant Spain, Portugal, France, Lithuania, Poland, Switzerland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Europe.
Yeah, the whole continent.
From the Nazis. For many, these people who live in these towns and villages surrounding the landing beaches, the anniversary is at the same time grandiose and personal. It is a moment of memory, of sharing, and a moment to pay homage to all those who saved us, says Odile Laporte, part of the local choir performing outside the plaza overlooking Gold Beach. Living here and being surrounded by beaches and the ambiance and the museums all year long makes this moment especially important, especially when we think about what happened 80 years ago. More than 150,000. Let me start that again because I messed it up. Hi, welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm.
More than 150,000 Allied troops landed at Normandy, including 73,000 from the United States landing at Omaha and Utah beaches, and thousands of other British and Canadian forces. Over 4,000 Allied troops were killed, and thousands more were listed as missing or wounded.
Pause. Who's seen the opening 17 minutes of Saving Private Ryan? Because that's...
I don't know that I've ever... I don't know that I've ever seen that movie.
Okay. That's intense. I would recommend. There were people that had serious issues with that in the theaters because they were not prepared for how intense that was.
I'm not okay. It's not just me. I wasn't gonna say anything till someone in the audience said something. Something about your audio changed.
I didn't do anything. I just been.
It feels like you changed, or the output changed, and you didn't maybe need to do it on purpose, but your computer.
Oh no.
Yes, it's. I believe your mic switched. Oh, good. My audio is out of sync too. Fantastic. Yeah, this is apparently the show is under attack by Russians.
Do I sound better now?
Wait, that now you sound like you're supposed to, but apparently now I don't sound like I'm supposed to. So the only thing I could think of is I'm gonna try leaving the room and coming back.
This is our D-Day, Ben.
Bear with me just a moment.
Yeah.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Again, to quote the story, almost 800 Americans died on June 6th on Omaha Beach. But I guess we should stop quoting the story at this point and just acknowledge the overwhelming loss of life at that moment 80 years ago, when we were literally faced with the challenge of what kind of governance or rule do we want to subscribe to? Right?
Yeah.
And the massive loss of life in that war alone, which, folks, let's be clear. Let's be very clear. World War I was put on pause, not for any strategic battleground gains or diplomatic wins. World War I was put on pause because they ran out of able-bodied young men to send to war.
Think about that for a second. Jesus.
And every
Hold on, guys. We got to stop. We don't have anybody else to send in.
Signed an armistice that said, I still think you suck.
We'll meet again.
Time out until we can breed another generation of soldiers.
Unbelievable. Right. Yeah.
And put that in your calculus when you consider every other conflict that we've sent our brave young and women off to war to. Right? Mm-hmm. Put that in your calculus. But here we are at a precipice again, honestly. And kind of the next story by no...
It's not a coincidence, right?
Everything that we should put into our calculus regarding current world conflicts, where our general and almost average American thought, expression, and reaction to these global events is, well, I don't fucking care. How does that affect me?
True. There's a lot of people that do that.
And we have to then take a pause and look back at history and show you that, buddy, pal, this has all happened before and is trending upon known pathways.
Right. Yeah, we should see where this is going.
This is from Reuters, one of Ben's favorite sites because it fits.
It does. It's beautifully. It fits beautifully on the screen.
This is from again Reuters. Putin says Russia
Oh,
could deploy
Wrong
missiles.
story. We said I had Biden. The Biden story is next.
Oh, is it?
I'm out of
Which
order.
one?
Maybe I'm out of order. The Biden airing of Gaza ceasefire proposal pushes Netanyahu towards the deal.
Did I not? Oh, yes. Let's do it. Do it. It'd be-
On the screen, so here we are. There's
okay.
Netanyahu's horrible, evil, war criminal face.
I jumped the gun. Sorry. Haha. Gun. Get it? Haha. War.
That guy right there is going to speak to Congress, and we're going to be okay with that.
Okay. So I put the story in here for a reason to show how good diplomacy and international relations sometimes takes time and does not happen immediately. And sometimes you have to let your opponent or somebody who you think is your ally but acts like an opponent, you have to let them make a grand mistake first before you come out and like, I got you.
Right.
And in this situation, this is a peace treaty, a ceasefire, right? For whatever you believe that to be, and the Israel-Hamas situation, where the Israel government, led by Netanyahu, were negotiating in private. Let me put this out in private with Hamas and the Biden administration, and had come to a consensus and agreement on a ceasefire framework, right? Enough to like, okay, stop.
Right.
Let's let some aid in. Let's release some hostages. That type of framework, right? And there was some hesitation from the Netanyahu government, right? And Biden, in an unprecedented move, came out and just said, yeah, this is the agreement. We talked it out with them. We talked it out with those guys. And this was our agreement. We all said this.
Kind of putting it out there so that if Netanyahu or anyone on either side decided to kind of go backwards, it's kind of a smart strategic move to put it out there, and because anything different, you look like the guy that's pulling out of this thing, right?
You backed out. You're the one that's like, the villain, right?
Mm-hmm. It definitively gives us a good guy and bad guy, so to speak, right?
In an election year.
It's a smart, solid move by Biden. Yeah, and it pains me to have to give him his flowers and say that but yeah, I mean, if that's if he did that, that's smart strategy to me. That's a smart move.
I can't obviously. Full disclosure, I don't work for any government agency.
Right, but if he did this, if he had this press conference and said that, whether he did it knowingly, strategically, or not, it's going to play in his favor.
And that's the point of diplomacy. That's the point of knowing strategically, emotionally, intellectually, where people are going to trend to. It's also the point of patience. And I think we've also mentioned this on the show previously, that all of the hits that are coming at the Biden administration and the Biden campaign, almost specifically, right? Oh my God, the media is latching on to all of these things. It's Hunter Biden. It's like it's this, it's that. They're latching on to all these things, and the natural reaction from most of us would be like, well, we've got to respond. We've got to say that. We've got to tell you differently. We got to appear in all the talk shows, and we got all the news episodes. We got to get it out there that like, oh yeah, no. They're just sitting back and going, it's April.
All right.
Or there's no need to expend that energy, that money, in even early June.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yeah.
But now you're starting to see he just put Israel kind of in a check, right?
Yeah, he put him in a spot for sure.
On the checkerboard, on the chessboard. He just literally put Israel in check, which is what? One of the main things that have been in the news recently.
Yep.
Right? What are they doing about this? Well, he just showed you. He gave them as much as he could, but he eventually said, look, it's too much. You're doing
Ryan Hansen,
too much
the
wrong.
answer is they're not. They're not going to pull Biden out of the race. There's
not
a
gonna
0%
happen.
chance. Only him dying between now and November would get him off of the ticket.
Which is Republicans' worst nightmare.
Well, it's also Democrats' worst nightmare, if we're being honest.
I think in that regard, there would be speaking of media influence, there would be so many established Democratic voices across the liberal and in conservative spectrum of the liberal Democratic spectrum coming out and supporting Kamala. But I was actually going to say something. And, of course, Aunt Chris comes out and says it first. Illinois Governor Pritzker is clearly aiming for the presidency and a national spotlight.
Really? I did not know that. Is that obviously not being in Illinois, I'm a little bit out of the loop on that. I didn't realize that.
J.B. Pritzker has, we've covered it on the show, set up his own independent PAC, a political
Right.
action
He's
company.
very wealthy. Yeah.
And Illinois, through his governorship, we are now, I think, 6 years. This is the sixth year we've had a balanced budget in Illinois. There are a ton of initiatives. Look, I'm just as skeptical as anybody about, especially Illinois governors, where we've got 4 that have gone to jail.
Right. Yeah. No. It's a very difficult job to have, honestly. And if you're not from Illinois, you don't, I guess, really understand it. But Illinois really is 2 separate states inside one state.
Indeed.
From the Chicagoland suburbs and the southern part of Illinois. Illinois is a very large state. Like, to drive from the top to the bottom of Illinois takes
Brutal.
It's 10 hours plus, I believe. It's something like 8 to 10 hours just to drive it, right?
Some of those
and
boring driving too, by the way.
Indeed. And from about Kankakee down, it is a different world entirely. It is a truly different state than the Chicagoland suburbs. It cannot be more polar opposite. And so you have very conflicting ideals and ideologies and politics colliding, and having to be the governor of both places is an extremely difficult job politically to try to keep that balance. It's an unenviable job, honestly. So I guess it makes sense that someone that is doing that job effectively would be someone that you could look at and go, well, if you step him up to the big job, he's kind of already prepared for how to work in those waters, those bipartisan waters, so to speak, right?
He doesn't come without his warts, I will say. He is an heir
like any
to
other billionaire, right?
The Hyatt hotel empire.
Right.
He is heir to that. He's one. So I will give you all of those warts like that. But I also say, like, okay, so he has that cushion. He has that background. But, man, like, for that type of dude, look at his political
He's been
record.
extremely progressive. And
Look at
if you look at Illinois was out front in gambling. They have been way out front in gambling. That's a lot of his predecessor.
First 10 states in the union,
and when obviously marijuana legalization, right, and abortion protections,
budget.
women's health protections and balanced budgets. You know what I mean? Like
Balanced
there's some very
budget.
liberal causes that JB Pritzker has been at the forefront as the governor of Illinois, and Illinois itself has been at the forefront of a lot of very liberal causes, whether it's immigration. Name the subject, name the important one. During COVID, he was very, on the liberal side, so to speak,
Sure.
of that. So
We're actually going to have a review of a book of the leadership of Lori Lightfoot during COVID and how much there was a conflict between the governor and the mayor.
Interesting.
I'm that book. Yeah, trust me, we'll talk about it. But it plays into leadership, right? And we to loop back to all of that, right? We just saw Biden play a major power play.
Yep.
On the global stage, right?
Not to be outdone.
But not to be outdone. Here is our good friend
Vlad.
Putin says Russia could deploy missiles in striking distance of the West.
Great.
St. Petersburg, Russia. Da, comrade.
Not comrade.
Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Wednesday he could deploy conventional missiles within striking distance of the United States and its European allies if they allowed Ukraine to strike deeper into Russia with long-range Western weapons. Putin, in his first face-to-face meeting with senior editors of international news agencies since the war in Ukraine began, said the West was wrong to assume Russia would never use nuclear weapons and said the Kremlin's nuclear doctrine should not be taken lightly. When asked about NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg's call to allow Ukraine to use Western weapons to strike Russian territory, Putin differentiated between the different missiles but warned allowing Kyiv to strike Russia with even more powerful weapons was a serious escalation that was drawing the West towards a war with Russia. Russia's response, the 71-year-old Kremlin chief said, would be to shoot down Western missiles and specifically mention U.S. ATACMS and British and French missile systems. I know that's a word salad, right? Mm-hmm. So, in so many words, Russia said, if you use these weapons that are allowed to reach the weapons that were bombing hospitals, schools, and nursing homes with in Ukraine, we're going to be very angry with you. We might use nuclear weapons, which has been the Kremlin's speaking point for almost 30 years.
It has been a way that they had that certainly Putin has waved that around as a kind of a power play, if you will.
The threat of nuclear weapons.
It's a hell of a threat because I believe that he will do it. I believe if there is a human being on planet Earth right now that is willing to make that first move with a nuclear weapon, it's Vladimir Putin.
And you're wrong. And here's why. Despite what you think, and I'm not trying to be a dick.
No. Listen. I know you're just
wrong.
smartening me up here.
Because believe it or not, there are layers of protection in Russia regarding the use of nuclear weapons. Because people know if you let one loose, it's over.
Right, yeah. The Russian people cease to exist at that point.
China knows that. Iran knows that. most senior leadership in Russia know that. I'll dare say Putin knows that. That's why he built a 1 billion bunker fortress in Sochi. The only person on the global stage that can initiate that sort of attack and doesn't give a fuck, North Korea.
I was gonna say Kim Jong Un, right?
One fuck.
Yeah, they don't
about
care if
that.
if they annihilate their own people.
And they have the bunkers to survive that sort of thing. But the American, European, Russian, African, Asian public, normal folks, do not.
Yeah, Gigi, great point there. You know, it does always
That
seem to
turning
come down
point
to one. It always does seem to come down to one guy in the room going, "Hey guys, before we get crazy, let's look at it this way." And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah. If we do that, then the whole world ends, and we don't like that. That sucks for everyone. Let's not do that.
It's a
Let's not do that."
and look, we talk.
But it really is, and that's why the name of that documentary being Turning Point is so perfect. Because once that technology, once nuclear weaponry became a reality, it is truly a turning point in world politics and just human existence. Truly, like it is like fire was to the early human existence. It is a truly turning point where it changes the dynamic of how we interact with each other as a human species under this threat of if shit gets too out of control, we have these weapons that will just annihilate everything to the point where there's just nothing left and you'll just all not exist anymore.
We don't have to wait for the asteroid, motherfucker. We can do it right now. You want to do it? You want to go? You want to go,
just
dude?
two guys. You can imagine like having a couple of bros with their finger ready on the button. You know, that's why it's important that you have checks and balances, right? And it's to your point, even Russia, who Vladimir Putin is as authoritarian as it gets. Even he seems to understand that there needs to be checks and balances, or at least his government, that ideology even understands there needs to be checkpoints. One person can't be in total control of the nuclear weapons.
And just to kind of back what you set up, and I don't know if you walked me into this or not, but here we go. Just to show you how confident Vladimir Putin is in his government and his ability to gather around all of the Russian forces behind him. He apparently wears body armor at every public outdoor event.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
2023.
He seems like the type of paranoid guy that wears a bulletproof vest everywhere. Yes.
You should have went for the head.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. Like a bulletproof vest doesn't do anything to keep you from getting shot right in the fucking face.
All right, and let's hope that oh maybe that happens.
Whoa! All of a sudden, wait till the YouTube chat. There's gonna be some Russian bot in the YouTube chat.
They're calling for
telling us about how they help us advertise our show or some shit.
Look, my guy's not wearing flak jacket. my guy might slip and fall, maybe from an airplane stair. Yeah, he might fall on a bike, but at least dude, the guy that I'm gonna vote for this year, who I have severe disagreements with,
right,
can at least get on a bicycle and ride the bicycle. Anyway, the idea that Putin is willing to threaten everybody at the same time, wearing flak jackets and bulletproof vests, kind of speaks to his position and how tenuous
that's just
might
Spanx. That's funny. I
So
just saw that.
When somebody threatens you with something, and they are clearly first of all, threatening you with the same thing they've been threatening you for 30 years. And you don't go, you're bluffing, fuck off. It becomes a problem.
Right.
And it becomes a global problem. So much so that Allied forces have to send 150,000 of their best to storm a beach and face unfathomable horrors and die trying to take Normandy. And when we talk about history repeating itself, we are talking about that right now. Everything currently, the appeasement of Vladimir Putin and the Russian methodology in Ukraine is nothing but a repeat of what Neville Chamberlain, then Prime Minister of England, did with Germany. Wait, Chamberlain. What about, no, not that. Yes, there was another Chamberlain. Neville Chamberlain allowed Nazi Germany to run rampant in Europe, unabated, and basically with you may do what you please. We have to be very careful when we appease people. Not because they're going to do what they're going to do, because they'll probably do that anyway. But we have to make sure we navigate that into a situation where we can win. And a situation where maybe not appeasement is the best thing to do, but maybe sometimes, like you would probably tell your own child with a bully, to punch him in the face when they're threatening you.
Yeah.
Is where we are in history right now. And folks, if you really think Putin is going to let loose nukes, well, I've got some property to sell to you. It will never happen. Some Kremlin agent involved in the military, diplomacy, whatever that's, it's a very different world over there.
Right.
Somebody will put a knife into his lungs. Somebody will put a bullet into his skull well before they let loose a single nuke. Tactical or not, it won't happen.
Interesting.
It is just literally a bluff that we continue to like, huh, okay, we won't fund Ukraine. Fuck you. Fund Ukraine. Push those motherfuckers back. Do it. To quote Ben Stiller, do it.
Do it.
Do it. Go ahead, dude. Do it. What do you got to lose? Do it, right? Oh, wait. You're sitting on 200 billion stolen dollars and have fortresses across eastern and western Russia. Okay. That doesn't scream anything to me. Let's talk. We talked about sending 150,000 young men and women into battle into a meat grinder, right? This next video is actually 2 drones showing you exactly what warfare looks like today. Ukraine, what's happening in Ukraine is changing everything we think about battle warfare in a military strategic sense, because they've got drones that are looking down at the battlefield that then send other drones to hunt and kill. That is a trench. And think, we talked World War I, we've talked World War II. Think trench warfare. Now there's a drone looking over that trench that's sending another drone armed with an explosive device towards that individual.
Oh, that's a human being. Holy shit. I didn't catch that the first time. I don't know what I didn't know. I wasn't fully digesting what I was watching there. Holy shit. Okay,
Keep watching.
now, yeah. So that's a guy in this trench. That's an enemy.
That is a dude. That is a Russian troop.
And then this is
Well,
the
not
second
anymore.
drone that is going to crash into him and explode.
Yep. And then you see the
Oh,
result.
wow.
We've shown you videos.
Holy shit. It
types
took
of
me 3
reconnaissance-
times to fully understand what I was watching there.
We've showed you the reconnaissance drones showing tanks where these these other than weaponized drones then strike and blow up. Wow. I don't know if this is, I'm not sure if this is the first time.
I'm sorry.
we've
Yeah,
covered-
there's no chance that a Normandy, a D-Day ever happens again. It'll be a D-Day of those things. That's what it'll be. There will be no human lives lost on that scale in that type of a mission ever again in the history of warfare.
Now, I don't think like that, especially because folks, we've shown you like robot dogs with like flamethrowers.
Correct,
that
exactly.
flips and
The technology. We are getting away from hand to hand. Every day we get further and further away from hand to hand warfare.
Human to human warfare
Yes,
at that
correct.
point, even right.
Right.
However, I think there's still a point to mention that in some like special operation stuff, the human aspect becomes even more vital. To be honest with you, I don't know. I just think it's the human element when it comes to innovative combat. The more things get stealthy, the more things get like we can get people in and out. I think the drone warfare is obviously great, but I think that opens up another avenue or another weaponization of human combat. Anyway, full confession, I'm an adult male and I collect GI Joes.
That's cool. I collect Funkos and all kinds of dumb shit.
There is a long form piece. Now I want to point it out from ProPublica. We've covered them multiple times on the show. It is stating they are coming forward with a story and evidence that multiple Trump witnesses have received significant financial benefits from his businesses and campaign. This is it's a long form piece. I will, Ben, I don't know, you can maybe post somewhere in the chat because I don't think I can.
Certainly, we can find it. We'll post it on the Facebook page as well.
9 witnesses in the criminal cases against former President Donald Trump have received significant financial benefits. Let me repeat.
It was a sham trial, Brooks. It was all a sham.
But
Banana
we're gonna
Republic.
campaign-
Sham. Banana Republic.
But we're going to campaign against this guy who's been prosecuted like Jesus.
The arguments from Republicans, I was great. I don't know if we referenced it a lot, but we watched The Daily Show this week. Jon Stewart had on former representative from Colorado who recently resigned. His last name is Buck, I believe.
Yes, I'm.
Forget his first name, Representative Buck, but he recently resigned basically because he was
about that show.
Yeah, we did exactly. We talked about him when he did resign because he's anti-Trump for the most part. But then he found himself having to try to defend Trump because he started using this talking point, this Republican talking point about how this is all political. It was all politically motivated, and the DA. There was one DA who said there was nothing there. Then this other DA runs on this idea that I'm going to get him, and that makes this a sham trial. That a district attorney ran on saying there's this guy that's a criminal that we all can see as a criminal, and we're finally going to hold him accountable because we have evidence, even though it wasn't that the original DA had any political motivations. No. He couldn't have. No. The guy that's going after Trump has to have the political motivations. The crimes happened, right? It couldn't be politically motivated because it had to go in front of a grand jury of just regular old people who had to be presented with evidence that was convincing enough that they said, yeah, it looks like a crime's been committed here. This should move ahead to a trial. And then a trial was had where evidence was presented, where witnesses came to testify. And it was all laid out of the 34 fucking felonies that were committed by him and his people. And it was, they're mad that he was held accountable. They're just mad that he was held accountable. And they want to spin this narrative that it was politically motivated. And Joe Biden's using the Tulsi Gabbard. I want to reach through my fucking phone and choke Tulsi Gabbard when I hear her talk now. Like, she's out there talking about how this is a sham trial and it was politically motivated. Bullshit. The evidence was there and the evidence was obvious. This man tried to subvert and suppress information because he thought it was going to hurt his ability to become president of the United States. That is a fucking felony.
It would have been easier if he just handed her $130,000 in cash.
For real.
And said, "Here you go."
But his mind works in a way where it's like the mob. He thinks that he
paper trail. They left the paper trail.
And he trusted shitty people. He trusted Michael Cohen, known liar and piece of shit. He wanted him as his lawyer. It's no different than isn't it Ray Cohen? Isn't there also Ray Cohen or Ray
Cohen was the one that was very, very good catch. Was Fred Trump's lawyer. Clearly mobbed up. Got
known fixer. Yes,
known fixer. I'm not saying anything out of line here. Ray Cohen was a very bad person, very mobbed up, and an attorney that linked themselves up with people of similar interests, which was then, of course, Donald J. Trump. Ray Cohen taught Donald how to work the system, and then Michael Cohen became, I think, no relation.
Right.
The fixer. It's just the guy that, like, the attorney that, like,
was willing to do the shit, the slimy, dirty shit. Yeah, he was willing to do it, and that's why Trump liked him.
It was the conciliary. Look, if you've seen The Godfather, if you watch The Sopranos, this is how they operated.
And to their credit, the prosecution played this brilliantly, and they played Michael Cohen brilliantly. And they played his role in this brilliantly, I should say, because it was going to be very easy for the defense to say Michael Cohen is a known liar and a known piece of shit. You should not believe anything he says. But the prosecution leaned into it and said, yes, Michael Cohen is a known liar and a piece of shit, and that's why Donald Trump hired him. And when he left him hanging out to dry and didn't pardon him when he had the opportunity to, after this guy did all this dirty shit for him, he got turned on. Yeah, guess what? The piece of shit guy turned on the guy who left him hanging out to dry. Yes, that's what happened. And the jury went, yeah, that's believable. That's an absolutely believable. Story. Yeah, it's an absolutely believable situation. So yes, while Michael Cohen is a known liar, it played into the prosecution's favor that he was, and it all comes down to if they just had paid her in cash, like you said, or if Trump just pardons Michael Cohen when he had the ability to, this trial never happens because Michael Cohen is never a witness.
Or one step further, if Trump wasn't having adulterous sex.
That too. Doing bullshit that needed to be covered up, right? Yeah.
He was having an affair with, at the same time, his wife was either giving birth or just had given birth to his son. Maybe then this wouldn't be a news story either.
Right. Also that. Right.
Accountability. Welcome to the American
political. And it's also that's the other narrative that's coming out is it's politically motivated. But when you look at it, like, Democrats are actively being prosecuted all the time, and Jon Stewart brought it up to this Buck guy's face. He's talking about Menendez, Bob Menendez.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Democrat being held absolutely accountable, and rightfully so.
Yep.
Right? We have covered that story. And even brought up Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is not being prosecuted the way that he's being prosecuted on these gun charges if his name isn't Hunter Biden. If he's just some other if he's just some other asshole, just some other drug addict that had possession of a weapon,
right,
it would have been long. He would have been gotten probation and treatment, court mandated treatment, and would have moved on with his life already. But because he's Hunter Biden, he's being targeted because of who his father is. So the narrative rings so fucking hollow. And listen to them all. The Republicans, they all use talking points, the same talking. They literally get emails saying use these talking points, and then you hear them all using the same talking points. And everyone from Tom Cotton to Tulsi Gabbard to Mike Johnson to all of the usual suspects use the same two phrases: sham trial and banana republic. Over and over and over again. And they don't even know what the fuck a banana republic is or where that comes from or what the meaning behind that is. They just use that phrase. They just use that phrase because that's the phrase that the email told them to use about it. The whole thing is fucking dumb and a giant distraction that we just spent the last 10 minutes talking about. No,
and we should, because think about it. The story from ProPublica.org, nine times, 9 witnesses in the criminal cases against Donald Trump have received significant financial benefits. Look, this story from ProPublica, which is a long form investigative journalistic publication, you should pay attention to, got a cease and desist letter.
Oh, really?
Donald J. Trump and the campaign or whatever that was, right? Let me just say this. When anything officially related to Donald J. Trump sends you a cease and desist letter, that is an admission of guilt and a warning, like, we're gonna take you to court.
Yeah.
ProPublica has some kind of steel huevos, right? They walked in to this publication knowing they were probably gonna trip up and get sued or brought to court over the story. They probably welcome it, because what sounds more out of line, that they did this and tried to pay or compensate witnesses, the very innocent and sanctimonious Trump campaign.
Yeah,
that they paid them and said, hey, because the receipts are there and ProPublica has them. It comes down to either outright cash money, shares in Truth Social. Like the way somebody went straight from being like not involved to becoming a member of the board of Truth Social.
Oh, like, God. It's just so blatantly obvious. Yeah.
Blatantly obvious. And I want to take this time to take my platform to talk about a tweet that was sent from the Shallow State. It's a long story short, but way back when, there was a website or a Twitter account called Duty to Warn that were what eventually became known to everybody as two psychologists that basically were stating what's publicly happening to Donald J. Trump in a mental health way. One wanted to go public, one wanted to stay kind of anonymous. And this is the Shallow State. It's the anonymous guy. I want to read this. thread.
Anonymous, by the way, which I love that.
Anonymous.
Somewhere in the other room, Gigi's probably giggling at listening to you say that word. But
That's what she does.
yes, we know she loves when you mispronounce words, and you butchered that one.
Anonymous.
That is not, again, butchered. Anonymous.
That's the way they say it
And-
in my reality.
Anonymous. Gnashing my teeth.
Anonymous.
All right.
Thread. Psychologists increasingly use addiction theory to explain the cult of Trump. The premise: Trump supporters engage compulsively, pursue rewarding stimuli, ignore adverse consequence, like addicts. Explains why they often adopt arguments that work against their own interests. One example of Trump supporters adopting an argument of or action that works against their interest was not getting vaccinated. Another is sending him money. The former is defiant. I'm not going to do it. The latter is compulsive. He needs my help. Many MAGA are addicted. The
Bingo.
reward is a perception that they're owning the libs. The drug is dopamine. Dopamine is an excitatory neurotransmitter, aka
I think it's
good.
excitatory.
Oh, you're on her side too now, son of a bitch. AKA a feel-good hormone. Released when we eat a great meal, have sex, or indulge in other pleasures. There are studies where rodents will choose dopamine over survival. Release of dopamine explains MAGA's appetite and fixations. Addiction theory goes hand in hand with malignant normality. The dopamine rush is heightened when MAGA are receiving stimulus that allows them to act in a manner imitative of their
This
leader.
is so fucking spot on.
If it feels like there are many Trumps all over the place these days, that's why.
Oh my gosh.
I should point out that these are concepts usually presented in a more fleshed out and footnoted way, using an academic forum like a paper or study. Many footnotes are needed here, but the goal was putting forth the premise in a short thread that more would read. There's a PS. It's also an argument as to why extra hard for Trump followers to break from him. If they're full on MAGA and they have an intellectual component or emotional component, the intellectual component needs to overcome the confronting cognitive dissonance, which produces an addiction to dopamine. And that's why cultists who break from one cult often adopt another. They can't break from the neediness, the addiction, and the need to feel the rush.
What a rush. But yeah, no, I mean, that is as spot fucking on as I can think of. I mean, that is a great psychoanalysis of them.
Armchair, for sure, right?
Right. Just
And
that
we have to
it
point
is
that
painting with a broad brush.
Very much
But
so.
as you read that, you surely, if you spend any time on social media or even off social media interacting with people that are devoutly Trump supporters, you can't help but feel like that rings very true. The one that really hit for me is they get the hit of dopamine when they act like him, when they imitate him. And that never occurred to me, but makes so much sense. And I know so many people that get this sense of I can like when they feel like they are him and they could say whatever they want, and you know it's crazy, but yeah, I can see it's an addiction that they have. It really is. It's a sycophant type of situation.
To follow the leader too. Like if people don't have a solid sense of themselves or a solid moral compass or core, they're like, oh, and let's be honest, like the media blitz that we as human beings have been subjected to over the last, like, say 30 or 40 years, the advent of the internet, the multitude of views and opinions and information, disinformation, misinformation that gets fed to us. Like, we have to understand, like, it's a very different world, and I think we try on the show to kind of point that out. But you know, we do what we can.
Yep.
Sometimes, Ben, and we're gonna skip ahead here.
Okay.
To that nature is amazing bit, because sometimes here on the show, we are accused of having a big mouth. I don't understand.
Yeah, I've definitely been accused of such a thing.
Because
for sure,
comparatively,
for sure, like this week,
we'll show you that our mouths comparatively are not that big.
No.
Check out this fin whale.
Holy shit! What? Holy cow! Oh my! That's insane.
You got a big mouth, Ben. I don't know about
Look
that.
at that.
Check out this fin whale.
Just whoosh. That's exactly. Another reason to just stay out of deep water, because shit like that exists.
Oh no, because that thing has no interest in you. All that was that little cloud,
I know, it was a school of fish or school of
krill,
like kelp.
which is like tiny,
krill,
little shrimpies.
I know it's not gonna come, but I can't get over the fear that it might. I'll be the first one that
it spits you out like Noah.
You would drown by the time it spits you out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely.
More than likely.
More than likely, if you were anywhere in the vicinity of that thing when it's fucking gulping, you are.
I will grant you that.
Okay, I this wasn't on the docket, but since we're on animals and we're near the end, I have to throw this in here because it's terrifying. And if there's one thing that we do, it's alert people of terrifying things in both nature and in the sky that might be coming after us that are deadly to us.
New to me, folks.
And not only does this involve an animal, it also involves things coming from the sky that can kill you. May I present a palm-sized venomous spider that is capable of flying, that is about to invade the East Coast.
That's not fair.
Look at that fucking thing. It's the size of your palm.
You can't be like a land-based creature that's venomous, that can spin webs and can fly. I mean, Spider-Man can't fly.
Yeah. It does fly in the very same sense, in a very similar sense to Spider-Man, by the way.
Oh,
it does. It uses webs where it basically like uses like it creates almost like a parachute of webs that allow it to kind of fly. Yes, nothing about this thing is cool, but it is invading the East Coast, Brooks, and it's coming for us sooner than later.
I mean,
this is the next thing. And is this the thing that Republicans like? If we get invaded by poisonous flying spiders, are Republicans and the MAGAs going to be like, this isn't real, this is a government thing? Like, but look at this goddamn thing, Brooks. It's terrifying, and it's coming for us all.
No, what they're going to tell you is what they've always told you. Like, you know, we're looking at a lot of things, and we're looking at being able, you know, to take UV light and maybe put it inside the body. We're talking about maybe
injecting it with bleach.
We know bleach is a very effective disinfectant against these things. So maybe
So there you go.
I don't know. You're looking at a lot of studies. We're certainly working on it. There are things that we can do to maybe inject poison into you and kill these spiders. Good Lord.
Yeah. So there you go. An invasion of deadly flying spiders.
If I have one request for our friendship, please don't ever show me flying spiders again.
I knew I was gonna enjoy blindsiding you with that one a little bit.
Okay, so you need to renew my faith in the animal kingdom, Ben. Let's go right to that last link, the Internet Hall of Fame, because Ben, you're going to renew my faith in the animal kingdom.
Wait, hold on. I may be missing something. I don't. The last video I have is the whale.
Oh.
Then I have a gene therapy story and a Hubble Space Telescope story.
So
There was a V. You sent me just a V, and I felt like you meant to Control V, and you just hit V. So I think the last link didn't send through the way you. There we go.
Really quick, the Hubble story, which Ben kind of alluded to. We are slowly losing the Hubble Space Telescope, which is almost 35 years old. The amount of signs we've gotten from that piece of technology has well outpaced the cost of that. But apparently there are several gyroscopes on the Hubble telescope which are failing. It cannot be replaced, and they're now down to one single gyroscope. One gyroscope! To point at things in space and look at.
Interesting. So I got the video ready to go. Good job vamping for us.
Thank you. Just to let you know, there is faith in humanity versus meets the animal kingdom.
Oops. No. Shit. Aw.
Oh, you skipped ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
Oh, yeah. Check it out.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
It's such a tender moment.
That's an amazing moment.
When he starts washing the hands. Like, how do you know?
Right. And why is he so why is the chimp so comfortable with that guy out of nowhere?
With a camera crew behind him.
Yeah.
This is not exactly what's happening here, right? There's a dude with a big fucking camera, maybe a light behind him.
Right. He's almost performing.
A little bit.
Weirdly.
But, I mean...
And that chimp could probably rip that guy's arms off if he wanted to, yes.
Oh, yeah, there would be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. The fact that he is being so gentle, considering the fact that he could easily tear apart that man, is incredible.
Yeah, that's a very brave man, but it is also a very touchy moment. Again, we are connected to, we are part of the animal kingdom and connected to this planet. We should.
You know what else we are a part of?
I feel a chill. I feel a spark. I feel the lightning around, ladies and gentlemen. I'm over my sickness, but I might need the cough button. Just to let you know, it is the lightning round, and we're seeing the bolts in the world's most dangerous chat zone. We call it the Thunderdome. If you're not familiar with the thing, it's very simple. I am going to read you 3 headlines. You, the people, will choose which headline we dive headfirst into and read. 3 stories enter. 1 will get read. And folks, it is the ultimate exercise of democracy. And without dilly or dally, here we go. Headline number 1. Wally, the emotional support alligator, reportedly stolen. Owner pleas for safe return. Bring my baby back.
Oh, it's actually kind of sad, but like also, why do you have an emotional support alligator?
Alligator. I have questions.
Yes.
Anyway, I also have headline number 2. A woman gave herself poop transplants using her brother's feces to treat her debilitating IBS. Then she started getting acne just like him. Headline number 3. Fingered it for 3 hours.
I'm still taking in headline number 2.
Korean man spotted having sex with pink Tesla.
Oh, there's gotta be, ma'am. What? Yes.
So,
oh my God, there's certainly video or at least a picture of number 3. This is gonna be really
that
tough.
might be number 2.
Yeah. This is going to be really tough. I am very interested to see where the Thunderdome goes with this. I think you guys have maybe the toughest vote, one of the top 5 toughest votes we've had in our 150 plus episodes. This has got to be top 5 toughest. Those last 2 stories alone are maybe the toughest choice we've had in a minute. And here we are. We got them flying in. Gigi voting for number 3.
People are voting without even hearing the second take, right?
No, yeah, Adrian's already out there. She says number 1.
All right, I'm counting. I'm registering your votes. They will be counted. All votes are counted.
But it is proper. It is proper. Okay, we got alternate headlines: emotional support monster, shit zits, and flesh car. Shit zits might be the best alternate headline that Ryan has come up with.
Certainly ranks among the top 3 you've ever done. Bravo!
It is also the comeback album for Rough Me Up.
That is when they got sober.
Yeah, shit zits.
It's their sober album for Rough Me Up. Shit zits.
It's tradition that we do give them all a second read of the headline, so that you can truly.
Here we go. Right.
Sometimes they hit you so heavy the first time that you have to really let them sink in.
You're so pent up, you don't know.
But here we go. We got
1.
Yes.
Wally, the emotional support alligator, reportedly stolen. Owner pleas for a safe return. Please bring my baby back, Ribs. Bring my baby back, Ribs. Bring my alligator back. Whatever. Headline number 2. A woman gives herself poop transplants using her brother's feces to treat a debilitating IBS. Then she started getting acne just like her.
That's incredible.
And headline number 3. Fingered it for 3 hours. Korean man. It sounds like Rick Flair. Woo! Fingered it for 3 hours. Korean man spotted having sex with a pink Tesla.
Wow. All right.
That is so I'm going to start.
Yeah, so there's so we got number 3 gets a vote, number 1 gets a vote. I see 4 votes for number 2 have come in, another vote for number 3. Is there anybody else out there? I think Ma Jordan, I don't know if Ma Jordan, there's one VIP, Dad F and Brooks. There we go, Ma Jordan.
Jordan's in there. Hold on. We want to make sure everything is secure and we don't get taken to court for fake electors.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Because that would be terrible.
But it looks like number 2 is going to win.
Who would do that? Who would?
Shit zits is going to win.
Shit zits. Who would do fake electors and try to? I don't know.
That would be crazy.
Oh, that would be nuts. Who would settle for that kind of form of government? I don't know. Folks, I think you have spoken. The
yes.
Thunderdome has spoken. And we bring to you, via democracy, your story. Headline number 2. Funny enough.
Yeah. You didn't even do that on purpose, did you? Or did you?
I'm gonna take credit for doing it because right now it seems
Because
like
it worked,
really
right?
cool,
You
but
could have,
I
yeah,
certainly
you
did
could have
not.
lied, but yeah, you
Nope,
could have lied.
absolutely not. This is coincidence. It sounds cool though, so let's run with that. Headline number 2 is the winner, ladies and gentlemen. A woman gave herself poop transplants using her brother's feces to treat debilitating IBS, and then she started getting acne just like her. As a college student, Danielle Kopke started experiencing irritable bowel syndrome symptoms, including indigestion, stabbing pains from trapped gas, and severe constipation. Trapped Gas is a great album name. You can steal it.
Yes.
When nothing seemed to help after 5 years of doctor visits, Kopke decided to try an experimental treatment called fecal microbiota, or DIY poop transplant.
I've heard of this. This
I've
is
actually
insane.
heard of it too.
Yes.
Where a healthy donor's feces is introduced into a patient's gut to repopulate it with good microbes.
That's insane.
She used her brother and her boyfriend as donors. That conversation, while we don't have conclusive proof, happened over Thanksgiving.
Ugh.
She told the Netflix documentary Hack Your Health, The Secrets of Your Gut. FMTs, again, fecal matter transplants, are only approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for C. diff bacterial infections, but scientists are looking into them as potential treatments for many conditions, including depression, as a growing research suggests the link between gut health and mental and physical health conditions. While some of Kopke's symptoms got better, she also started experiencing acne like her brother, and later depression like her boyfriend. It's like Frankenstein, only poop.
Like
A similar experience was documented.
You have to, if you have that hold on. You have that conversation. You got me sitting on this. You have this conversation. So I need your poop. I need your poop for this thing where I'm going to put your poop inside me, hoping that it will help my irritable bowel syndrome. That's one conversation. The next conversation is we got to have a conversation about what you're going to eat prior to that. Right? Because as Ryan Hansen points out, like, it's a kind of important, like, what you're going to eat that I'm going to use the poop from. You don't want like corn and gross. Like, you want it to be as like healthy, quote unquote, as a poop can be. No, like,
I'd rather have the conversation the other way. I'd rather be like, hey man, what's your diet like? You like corn? You like fiber? You like
oh god.
Voracious, like, you know, like vegetables, like, you know, a lot of leafy vegetables. Okay, cool. No. I'm just asking. You know, that's great. I'm sure, like, you know, that it sounds like your colon's great. Good for you, man. You regular food? Oh, 3 times a day. Oh man.
Oh wow,
good.
yeah, wow.
Good.
Should
All right.
drink a lot of coffee?
Hey, can I borrow some of that poop?
If we still did show names, can I borrow some of your poop?
Like,
Would definitely.
It's not even the weirdest thing you're gonna tell that person either. Like, hey, can I borrow some of your poop? Because
Right, exactly, because they're gonna ask why, and then
why?
you're gonna,
It's like, well, I'm gonna put it in my butt.
in my gut. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna put it in my butt
Yeah.
first, because so it gets into my gut, so I can assimilate some of your qualities. It reads like an X-Men, like almost like villainous.
Like a villainous plot. Yeah.
I'm going to steal your powers and use them against you. Only it's just to help me be more regular and poop right.
Oh god.
You can look at the rest of that story later on. I think we've hit
No
it
one
on
is
a little
going
bit.
to. No one.
No
I think
one's
we got
going
the
to.
gist of it.
We got the butt of the story.
Oh my god.
And that's Topic Thunder. So, folks, if you're again just joining us, or long-time listeners, or medium-time listeners, well, thank you.
Some new faces in the crowd tonight. I loved it.
A couple of them. It was great, and we hope you enjoyed the show, because we
And the bots are back now on Twitch.
What is that one? Error 706.
Cheap viewers.
No, it's not it.
We already got enough cheap viewers.
Yeah, welcome
Thank you.
Yeah, you don't even know. Welcome to our bot overlords, also, folks. So every Wednesday we try to get this show in. And, we try to take this ginormous vessel that we call the USS Rapapa out of dock. And that has been. My name is Brooks. And from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. Wednesday, 7 o'clock, YouTube, Facebook.